Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janardana. Yasodanandana Braja Janardana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shirate. Jai Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shri Radhe. Jaya Shri Shri Rukmini Dwarkadesh Rukmini Dwarkadesh Rukmini Dwarkadesh Jaya Rukmini Dwarkadesh. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Shitanath Premanande. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Shrimate Gopal Krishna Krishna Prabhupada Śaiśavaṁ Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sijuta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kipa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, in the matter of status quo, Chapter 31, Lord Kapila's instructions on the movements of the living entities. Text 28. Iti evaṁ śaiśavam bhuktvā duḥkhaṁ paugaṇḍam evacha alabdhābhīpsito jñānād iddha-manyuḥ śucārpitaḥ. Somebody else. Evaṁ śaiśavam bhuktvā Mataji's. evam. In this way, śaiśavam, childhood, bhuktvā, having undergone, duḥkhaṁ, distress, paugaṇḍam, boyhood, iddha, even, ca, and alabdha, not achieved, abhīpsitaḥ, he whose desires, ajñānāt, due to ignorance, iddha, kindled, manyuḥ, his anger, śucā, by sorrow, arpitaḥ, overcome. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this way, the child passes through his childhood, suffering different kinds of distress, and attains boyhood. In boyhood also he suffers pain over desires to get things he can never achieve. And thus, due to ignorance, he becomes angry and sorry. Everybody please repeat, in this way, the child passes through his childhood, suffering different kinds of distress, and attains boyhood. In boyhood, also he suffers pain over desires to get things he can never achieve. And thus, due to ignorance, he becomes angry and sorry. Purport. From birth to the end of 5 years of age is called childhood. After 5 years, up to the end of the 15th year, is called paugaṇḍa. At 16 years of age, youth begins. The distresses of childhood are already explained, but when the child attains boyhood, he is enrolled in a school which he does not like. He wants to play, but he is forced to go to school and study and take responsibility for passing examinations. Another kind of distress is that he wants to get some things with which to play, but circumstances may be such that he is not able to attain them. And he thus becomes aggrieved and feels pain. In one word, he is unhappy, even in his boyhood, just as he was unhappy in his childhood. What to speak of youth? Boys are apt to create so many artificial demands for playing, and when they do not attain satisfaction, they become furious with anger, and the result is suffering. Evaṁ śaiśavam bhuktvā duḥkhaṁ paugaṇḍam evacha alabdhābhīpsito jñānād iddha-manyuḥ śucārpitaḥ. Some, or not some, many are always asking why you Hare Krishna devotees always talk about miseries and sufferings. Why? Can you talk of something else? Yes, we talk about happiness also, but this is the nature of the material world. Ekapad vibhuti, 1/4 of the entire kingdom of God, kingdom of God comprises of the spiritual world and the material world. The material world is guaranteed duḥkhaṁ masāsvatam, full of miseries and sufferings. And the 3/4 of the kingdom of God, there is full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. The material world is a learning ground for the conditioned souls to learn ultimately that I cannot remain here. Somehow I have to find ways to get out of this material world. Just like even while we are in the womb of our mother, the sufferings and miseries starts even from within the womb of the mother. And what to say, even coming out from the womb of one's mother. Great personalities, self-realized souls, they can remember the past. It says here in this episode of the Srimad Bhagavatam that not all the conditioned souls, they're so conditioned that they don't want to get out also of the womb of their mother because of so much suffering. But realized souls specifically, they can understand the futility, the miseries while being in the womb of the mother, that they will pray that I will surrender unto you, O Supreme Lord, as soon as I get out of this womb, of this predicament. It is not so easy to be in the womb of one's mother. Prabhupada would say that also, that if a man will be also put into that situation, he will not last for a few seconds. It's like putting oneself in a garbage bag, so to speak. One will not be able to maintain his sanity. He'll go crazy and ultimately he'll suffocate and he'll die. And the womb of the mother, the child suffers so much. It says that whatever the mother will eat, because of this umbilical cord is connected to the child, he'll also will be able to taste. It's like when the mother is pregnant, she likes to eat something of her favorite. It's like in the Philippines, they like sometimes mangoes with very hot pickles. And so therefore it is so hot, sometimes pungent, sometimes very bitter. I don't know, mothers, did you have that experience? Yeah, and it says that, whatever the mother would like, then the son also will be some similar to, let's say, like the food that the mother will eat. So it is very, very, so much full of sufferings. A pure devotee of the Lord, he will pray that, yes, not everyone will pray. Not everyone will pray because they will not understand. They will not remember their past. Because the soul transmigrates from one body to another, and while transmigrating from one body to another, the mind, intelligence, and ego is coming along with the soul. We change our body from different species of life, birth after birth. But the same predicament, the same status of feeling the pain, This is the problem. Pain inside and pain outside. When the child took birth, then because he doesn't want to come out, it's like Sukadeva Goswami also. We've heard, yes, he remained for 16 years within the womb of his mother. He is a paramahamsa, swan-like personality. That means he is beyond the modes of material nature. He has fear of Maya. That's why he doesn't want to come out. On the other hand, the conditioned souls wants to get out as soon as possible. But they will also, sometimes they will pray. But then they will forget immediately. Sukadeva Goswami, he is not touched by the material energy. Such a great soul that even if he comes out of the womb of his mother, there is no risk of falling down. So this is the issue here now. When the conditioned souls comes out of the womb of his mother, then so much pain again. Inside is pain, coming out is pain, and outside is also pain. Pain all the way through. And it's not over-exaggerated. This is what the Shastra says. We're not making this up. Why is it that the Shastra is saying all of these things? For us to learn, for us to understand that, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, this place is not a place for a gentleman. This world is not a place for a gentleman. But nevertheless, it's because of our desires. That's why we became forgetful of our real nature. Different desires. As there are many species of life, there are also as many different desires wants to fulfill. I was reading the other day some study done that one can have 22,000 desires in one day. As much. That must be really crazy guy. 22,000 desires. We should only have one desire, to attain love of God. But somehow or other we have to go through the process because of our previous activities, the reactions of karmic activities that we perform from the past, we have to go through, we have to burn. No one is exempted to this except the pure devotees of the Lord. That's why when Sukadeva Goswami, as soon as he came out of the womb of his mother, he just wants to run away. He wants to go to the forest. He doesn't have to go through all these different Vedic rituals. He doesn't have to go through all the reformatory processes, different samskaras, purification. But somehow or other, he returned. He returned. And that's how we receive this knowledge from Sukadeva Goswami explaining it to Parikshit Maharaj. It's very important because from the Shastra, we can learn how to get out of this material world, how to become relieved from the scorching heat. The material world is compared to a forest, but it's burning. And there's no way out. The animals, wild animals, they cannot get out of. There's a big fire, no. And it says also that to get out of this material world, then we should use this human form of life because this is the best vehicle to get out. The body is like compared to a boat. And we need an able captain who is none other than the spiritual master. And the boat will sail smoothly, peacefully, if there are favorable winds. The favorable winds is compared to the sastras, the scriptures. So we don't have to experiment in such a way that to experience more hardships, more miseries, and more pain. That is first class receiving of knowledge just by hearing from the right source. We can learn from our experience. But then that is the hard way. Learning the hard way is not favorable, is not conducive for our conditioned state. We always want to be comfortable, arrange things accordingly, peaceful, and harmoniously being happy. So right from the very early age, when we took birth, it's full of miseries, full of sufferings. And it's given here. The child also, if the child cannot attain what he wants, then he will be angry. He'll become angry. Have you seen a child being in tantrum? Yes? You've heard that word, tantrum? A tantrum is higher than angry. There's different levels of, it's like jealousy, envy. Envy is higher. So tantrum, sometimes you'll see a child banging his head on the floor to get what he wants. And then the parents will give in. It's a very nice verse Subhas Prabhu quoted this morning. So one should not be a father or a mother if he cannot save his children from the cycle of repeated birth and death. Is that right? We've heard that this morning. It's amazing. It's so appropriate. So this happens to Prabhupada also. One time he was with his father and he saw a toy gun. You remember that story in Lilamrita? So he asked for the gun. But he's still crying after giving one gun, buying one gun. Why? Because he wants two guns. He wants two. One for the right hand and one for the left hand. And he's spoiled by his father. Because his father knows him. Being a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, it's like there's a saying, it takes one to know one. So he understood that his son is not an ordinary personality. That he would even ask all the sadhus, whenever there's some sadhus coming, he will ask the sadhu, invite the sadhu, and ask for his son to be blessed to be a devotee of Srimati Radharani. That's why Garbhadan Samskar is very important for the parents to perform. This is one of the 10 purificatory processes. Even before the child is born, there is already a purificatory process that one has to establish until one dies. The last rites, the cremation, there is name-giving ceremony, namakarana. It's like we saw this boy this morning, Shama Sundar Prabhu, the grandson of Rupanuga Prabhu. I gave him some grains, mahaprasadam, sweet rice in Vrindavan. Anaprasana, this first grain that the child will have. These are all part of the Vedic scripture, how we can purify. Purifying oneself. Ultimately, we're not purifying the body. Of course, the soul is pure. It says it's a pure, the soul is liberated soul. It's always liberated. But it becomes covered up. The soul cannot be cut into pieces, cannot be burned by fire, cannot be withered by the wind. The soul is always pure, but becomes covered up, especially when one identifies with the body as the self. And this is Maya. This is illusion. So, right from the very beginning, up to 5 years old, child, it says, Prabhupada says, oh, you can give the child up to 5 years old whatever he wants. But after 5 years old, then you have to tell what is right and what is wrong. Because the consciousness starts to develop now. In the beginning, no. So when the upbringing of the child is favorable for the child to become Krishna conscious, then the pain and sufferings is less. The devotees also, they feel pain and sufferings. It's like if a person from, like a family member died, there are some sufferings there also. There is some pain. But it's not as much because we understand that we are not this body, that we are spirit souls. So the more we identify with the body as the self, then the more miserable one becomes. And the more one prepares or plans to be happy materially, miseries begins. It's not even attaining that so-called enjoyment, enjoying the sense objects with the senses. Just the planning itself, miseries begins. So as the boy or as the child grows up, more and more pain will be inflicted. It's like in the beginning we don't see that karma is working in the child. Of course, some child, they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They don't have to work 9 to 5. Their family, they have, they have enough wealth for 5, 6, 7, 8 generations. But he's not exempted from miseries and pain of this material world. And it seems to be innocent, young child. But then we will start to see. I remember when I was a young boy, I was like thinking, why there are so much miseries in this world? Seriously. I was about like maybe 13 years old, 14 years old. I was thinking, why is it like this? I want to be happy, but I cannot. I was thinking, maybe there's a solution for this. Maybe there is another world where there is no miseries and sufferings. So that's when I started to search for informations. I became interested in spiritual subject matters. So whenever I can find some literatures, and I was just a young boy, about 14 years old, when I first came across with Prabhupada's books in the Philippines. Back to Godhead magazines, Perfection of Yoga, and Easy Journey to Other Planets. Not from a devotee, from like a new age hippie store or something like that. It was my fortune to have come across. Because in this world, Prabhupada says also, one day it'll be noted in the history of the world that our movement is the one who saved the world from being barbarians. Barbarians. Barbarians means uncivilized. Well, it looks like very civilized society. Like Prajapati Prabhu and I were, going to his place, and we saw this, is it Moya? Waymo. There is no driver. I've never seen, I saw one in San Francisco. I was thinking, what kind of vehicle is this? It's like so many contraptions and so many apparatus. And I figured out, wow, you can go without driving. It seems to be civilized, but actually no. Real civilization means teaching one to become Krishna conscious, to become self-realized. This is real education. It's like this kind of education from Bhagavatam should be taught in the schools. Yes? Yeah. It's like here, the movement of the living entity within the womb. This is like a subject matter that children should know right from the very beginning. Instead, they will be taught sex education. No wonder why, even 14 years old, they're pregnant. This is reality. Instead of curtailing their lust, anger, greed, madness, and illusion and envy, instead of suppressing, not suppressing, but human form of life means there's this way how we can control our mind and intelligence. But no, modern so-called civilization, they think that they will teach high education, but it's backwards. It's backwards. So, the full responsibility ultimately lies from the government and also the parents. But what to do? As Prabhupada says, at least there should be a section in the society that there will be a Brahminical class to teach this knowledge. And this is our purpose. Our movement is meant for this, to educate the conditioned souls. Give them this knowledge. It's a thankless task. It's a thankless task. Devotees, they sacrifice their life, they go to places where it's risky, just to give everyone an opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. So we must be fearful of Maya. Srila Prabhupada says, Maya is very strong. This is in a morning walk in San Francisco, July 1975. At any moment we can fall down. Therefore, we should be very careful. So, this is not just an emotional conditioning of being fearful. Actually, this is one's realization. If one is fearful of Maya, therefore, he will take more shelter of Krishna. And Prabhupada says, this is the problem with my disciples. They are not fearful enough of Maya. And Maya is everywhere. Maya is outside and Maya is inside also. If we cannot control our mind, if we cannot sharpen our intelligence, then Maya will creep in. That's why it says we have to be engaged as much as possible in devotional service. One who's intelligent, he should always think, whether I'm becoming victim of Maya, that is intelligence. Prabhupada says in a lecture in Vrindavan, Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, Chapter 2, Text 6, November 4th, 1972. Yes, we've heard this story many times. Prabhupada was in front of the deities and was spending quite some time. And the servant was noticing, this is unusual. This is unusual. How is it, Prabhupada? He was in a prayerful mood. And then later on, the servant asked, Prabhupada, I noticed you were spending so much time in front of the deities. Prabhupada says, yes. I was praying that I may not be a victim of Maya. If Prabhupada is praying like that, what to say of us? We should pray harder. Because the more we are afraid of Maya, Prabhupada says, the more one takes shelter of Krishna. That is wanted. Letter to His Holiness Bhakti Swami, February 27, 1975. So even great devotees, they are fearful of Maya. Sukadeva Goswami, Srila Prabhupada. What about us? We're just, well, most of us are just beginners. We're still on the level where we are learning how to crawl in Bhakti. We're not even walking yet. But hope against hope. Yes, continue on. Be determined. Be convinced. Increase the faith day by day by chanting sincerely the holy name of the Lord. Following the process, perform Mangal Artik at home, or if you are nearby, within 10-mile radius, if you can, try to come to our temple here in ISKCON, LA, Sri Rukmini Dwarkadish Mandir, and get all the strength that we need to tackle the whole day ahead of us. Very, very important. Even Lord Shiva, Prabhupada says in the lecture, fears the influence of Maya, so what to speak of us? So Maya means forgetfulness of Krishna. We can only have two things. Either we are in Maya or we are in Krishna. It's very difficult to be in between. We cannot put one of our leg on the bus and one of the leg on the ground, and the bus is going. What's going to happen? There'll be an accident, right? So we better just make the choice, the right choice. Maya acts through the modes, especially Rajagun and Tamagun, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. This is what Prabhupada says, at least we should be in the mode of goodness. It's a stepping stone for ultimately come to the platform of pure goodness. And ultimately Prabhupada says, Maya means anything which is not connected with Krishna. That is Maya. Room Conversation, May 9, 1975. So, practical ways how to not anymore suffer repeated birth and death, because birth means pain and sufferings. Death is pain and full also, and full of sufferings. We should be more introspective, have a daily introspection. Just like when the child was inside the womb, he was thinking of many things, how to get out. So now we are out, and as practicing devotees, sadhakas, we should pray, am I drifting into material consciousness today? We should regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam chant. In the association of devotees, hearing and chanting cannot be overestimated, cannot be overemphasized. The more we hear and chant amongst, in the association of devotees, the more powerful it is. The more we'll get strength. As Prabhupada says, alone one cannot go back home, back to Godhead. No, it is a phantasmagoria. Prabhupada says, to live outside of the association of devotees is, and one can be happy, is hallucination. Hallucination. That means it's like one's mental concoction. So, there are so many ways how we can improve daily, and as much as possible, we should try our very best to understand this knowledge coming from the Shastra, because they are very, very instructive. It is not just there to read, but to apply in our daily activities. Hare Krishna. Any question? Comment? Yes, Prabhu.
I just really like this point, fear of Maya. Can you discuss just a little more of practically what a healthy fear of Maya looks like in our daily sadhana or practice?
Yes. If one is fearful of Maya, then he'll become so serious in his bhakti. Yeah. And we have to be serious. We have to be sincere. Prabhupada used the word sincere. Sincere devotee. Sincere devotee means focused devotee. Sincere means focus. Not be sidetracked. Not be deviated. Not going, let me just go on the side and see. It may take, Prabhupada said, it may take millions of lifetimes to get back on the track. Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, thank you. You were mentioning about the importance of self-realization at one point, self-realization. And I just have a reflection, a recollection that a few times I met people who, in school, like in UCLA, one student, he said, what will I do once I am self-realized? He was like, what will I do? And then, of course,
what did you say?
Then I said, well, at that point you'll become fully peaceful, satisfied. And all these troubles and difficulties that humans go through will not be there, because you know who you are, you know who God is, you know what is this material world, and what is the process to achieve Him. And just 2 weeks ago, another student, he came to my table and he said, what is the point of, he was looking at the book Beyond Birth and Death. He says, what is the point of this life if we have to die? So my reflection of this is that actually we just have to go and meet these people at the right time. Krishna makes arrangement for those souls who are struggling and suffering.
Yes.
And our mission is to go and just be there for those people.
That's right.
And that's the point I want to make.
Yeah. When Prabhupada first started in New York City, he was giving lectures at Dr. Misra's yoga club. And there's this one elderly lady. She was very fond of Prabhupada. She liked Prabhupada a lot. His lectures, his kirtan. So the elderly lady asked, Swamiji, why did you come late? I wish you had come when I was still young. And Prabhupada says, I came late because you are late. Because it is now how we start. In bhakti, it's not how we start, it's how we finish. So there's no such thing as being too late, or better late than never. This is just the right time. Everything is Krishna's arrangement. It is the will of Krishna to put us in a situation that we will learn. And it is His mercy for us to get out of this material world. So even the pains and sufferings are actually is a learning experience for us. We should not look at the negative side. We should also see it in the positive side. So these students that you're meeting, they're very fortunate. They don't have any other hope except meeting a devotee, receiving transcendental literature Prabhupada wrote.
Then this particular student, he took the book, he sat in front of me, like in front of my table, and for 1 hour he was reading the book. And I was thinking that's it. So nice.
He cannot get out of that now. It'll remain in his consciousness. Prabhupada says, even touching my book will get benefited. What to say if one reads? Yes? Any other points or comments? Subhash Prabhu?
Maharaj, thank you very much for a wonderful class. It seems to me that Maya is very powerful, as you're saying. But, and Prabhupada has said that to associate with materialistic-minded people is committing suicide. So we should be very conscientious, like when he was asking what are the symptoms. Well, we see that people that are out in the material world, they're thinking of sense enjoyment, 150%. Right. And that's their whole goal. So we as devotees, we should try to avoid as much as possible the association of materialistic-minded people, because then if we do that, we're willingly committing suicide.
Yes. That's why we have to be strong.
Yeah.
Don't take their association, but give your association. Because it is unavoidable. Nevertheless, especially for working class devotees, those devotees who have to earn a living, they have to face the outside world. They have to deal. So how we deal with the devotees is how we deal with the outside world as well. Then we will be protected. It's not that we have to compromise our philosophy, our teachings. We have to be the same. That's why sadhana in the morning is utmost important. The chanting of the holy name is utmost important. Then, as there is a Bengali saying, when you go fishing, don't get wet. How can you go fishing without getting wet? But you have to wear, those rubber boots maybe, or have a raincoat. So we have to shield ourselves. Yes, you're very right. We have to be careful, extra careful. Okay? Oh, you have a question? One last one. Yes? Or comment?
Maharaj, just 2 days ago I came across something about the fear of Maya.
Fear of Maya? Yes.
So in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that the 6 enemies,
yes.
They came as the 6 sons of Mother Devaki, and Kamsa represents the fear of Maya, and Mother Devaki represents Bhakti, and this. So after the 6 enemies got they died, killed. After that, Balram appeared, and then Krishna appeared.
Yeah.
So same way, with the fear of these 6 enemies, we in the womb of Bhakti, Krishna appears. We should have the fear of these 6 enemies always, and then in the womb of Bhakti, Krishna and Guru appears. And these 6 enemies are the sons of Maricha, who is the son of the mind. So, and I had one question, Maharaj, that you were telling that the association of devotees is of utmost importance. So I was just thinking, we have LA temple here, and the next temple is almost 1.5 hours away, which is Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach.
So between that, the people don't have association. So how do we arrange?
It would be nice if there are Bhakti Briksha programs, Namahata programs going on around the city. Like, I've been to Moscow many times. They have 150 Bhakti Briksha groups in Moscow. That means there is something going on every night. Yeah. Sadhu Sangha is very powerful. So we need strength from each other, inspiring each other, motivating each other. And even though there's like 3 or 4 families get together, it would be nice to have some satellites also, like preaching centers. Because not everyone can travel for an hour, especially traffic in LA. But if you have small satellites centers where devotees can congregate, that is very admirable. And then in festival times, everyone comes here, or even on Sundays, they come to the Mother Temple. Because the intensity in the Mother Temple is 100 times more powerful spiritually. In Delhi, we have 21 temples. They're not chota. They're big, they're maha. Some of them are maha. Because millions of people, I don't know how many millions there are in LA. How many millions of people here? 2, 3, 4? 15. So you need maybe 15 small centers for 1 million each. Yeah, but this is our Mother Temple. Yes. That's one way. Okay? And if you cannot, just watch Mayapur TV or Live LA. LA Live. Okay? Srila Prabhupada Ki. Nitai Gaur Sitana Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hari Om Tat Sat. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mother. Hari Bol. One more from